Hey there! Have you been seeing the news about raids, but have no idea what's going on? Are you just trying to get into raids, but too afraid to ask questions? Today, I'll be going over the basics of raiding in Wizard101. Just to be clear, this isn't a strategy to beat a raid, nor a checklist of gear you need, but this video is meant to address all the stuff everyone should probably know. In its current iteration, a raid is a super team-oriented 12-person dungeon. In order to get involved, you'll need a guild with the battle island unlocked, and the raid key. All of this is made with the Azoth treasure cards. In order to join a raid, you'll need at least rank 1 cantrips to use magic touch. And a few people will want a higher rank cantrips. The best rank is 7. Cantrips that will be helpful to you can be crafted in Wisteria, in the guild, and are dropped in the raid itself. So after you open the raid portal, you'll be in a lobby. 4 people will play Vanguard, and 8 people will play the outside role. You will have 5 minutes to get in and 30 minutes to complete it. It's intended that the portal stays open for 3 hours. However, at the time of recording, that doesn't quite work correctly, so you can get more time in the raid. All combat in a raid will be handled similarly to Beast Moon in a turn style, where a player goes first, then the first enemy, then the second player, and so on. There are also PvP limitations, PvP scions, and Rochambeaus available. No PvP cards are banned. Furthermore, Rochambeau rules for school play apply, and the bosses cheat based on those rules. Bosses will generally be harder to fight if you're bad against them in the Rochambeau circle, so as a general rule, don't trap against the fire in life, and don't blade against the ice or death. Balance will also cheat around your pips, making it so that you can't use large pip spells against them. Inside a raid, the Vanguard's role is as the primary combat school. They will kill the bosses that drop loot and are responsible for winning the raid. They are the team who should be the most experienced and well equipped with the absolute best gear available. This will look like an insane 50 pierce, great damage with perfect pips and accuracy. The outside team will play a few different roles. They will be responsible for maintaining mana, health, and general speed of the Vanguard's progression. The standards for stats do not need to be nearly as high here, although having a couple of experienced teammates and teammates with Vanguard tier stats here will ensure success in the coming chaos. The raid is divided into 3 waves with increasing difficulty. The outside team will immediately begin drums. Typically you want 3 or 4 people dedicated to this role at any given time. Drums are a massive pressure plate puzzle like the one in Elephant Graveyard, requiring multiple members to be alert. This will happen exclusively in the Wave 1 zone. When the drums are active, they drain mana. If you fail, there will be a large mana loss from the Vanguard team, and you must restart the drum's progress. After completing a sequence, there will be a 3-minute period before the next. This will repeat until the end of the raid. The other players in the raid will often fill the role of the combat team outside. Inside the first zone, you will see cards floating in the middle of the map guarded by mobs. These function similar to Beast Moon Monster Mayhem. Once you beat an enemy, it will cast the spell onto another active fight. These should be planned and coordinated with the Vanguard team. The cards on Wave 1 are Levin Bruin, Brushfire, Rotting Fomori, and War Oracle. When the drum teams and combat teams aren't actively engaged in their primary activity, they will have a couple other goals. For one, during the raid there will be a bunch of stars that spawn around the first 2 zones. Each player can hold a single star. These are used to activate chests in each zone. In the first zone, this will be a mana chest that spawns mana for the Vanguards. In order to complete the challenge, you must gather 10 stars at the chest in 2 minutes. While playing as your pet, you move slightly faster. And the other challenge is finding hidden items in the ground while using this feature. One of these will be required for Wave 3, and one of these can open a secret boss at the end. Otherwise, they drop useful cantrips. So at the same time, Vanguard start with the option of fighting either 2 separate weaker bosses going 2v2, or a much stronger boss going 4v2. These bosses will have unique cheats that may require more complex strategy and the use of Inspire cantrips. Each of these bosses will unlock a code for the outside team to move on to Wave 2. However, technically the Vanguards can rush their Wave 2 fights by killing the Jaguar first. The main combat objectives will be to ensure to communicate needs to the combat team outside and to survive battles with as much health as possible. The mana chest spawns will come primarily at the Jaguar battle zone. After retrieving the code from the Vanguard team, the outside team will unlock the Wave 2 zone, where there's now a health chest. This will immediately give access to a supply of health orbs for the outside team. However, the Vanguard team will not be able to access them until immediately prior to the final fight. At this point, there is also a teleporter available to unlock with Magic Touch that can allow drummers a little more freedom to move. The outside drums team will continue to keep up with mana while searching for the center code for the Wave 3 in pet mode and collecting stars in case of mistakes. The combat team now has access to Shadow Surge, Dismal Seraph, Fabled Revenant, and Monumental. With the use of Magic Touch, they can also access the secret boss, Thundering Elf, which will have a significantly more cheats and health than the former outside bosses, but can reduce another boss's health by 25%. The Vanguard team will now fight the second pair of split fights, which will give the other two codes to start Wave 3. And so begins the most stressful part of the raid. The Vanguards run up to fight the Nullity, where they can find the health orbs waiting for them. The Nullity has 100% resist and will have cheats where it chooses a school to copy the Rochambeau cheats and absolutely annihilate the Vanguard team should they not play around those moves. After Wave 3 begins, there will be orbs that actively slow down the outside team. Avoid these or play as your pet. There is a chest in the third wave that can remove these effects. The outside team must provide any spells needed for the Nullity, continue to maintain drums, and now has a new set of objectives. Past the Wave 3 zone gates, there is a teleporter that may need to be activated. There is also a portal at the end of the street that an outside teammate can go through to cast cantrips on the Vanguard team. Also on the third street is a stream of mob spawning. The outside team must pull these mobs and stop them from reaching the end to join the Vanguards. And if you're able to find the key, there's another secret boss, the Middle Speeder, which forces some very interesting gameplay with weird cheats. If you fail to pull this boss, you will give it to the Vanguard team as a second boss. Don't let this happen. If the outsiders are able to maintain the integrity of the Vanguard's run, and the Vanguards can kill the Nullity, you win. Anyway, in the future, I'd love to do more videos about this. I believe Ferric should have one on his strategy coming up somewhere soon. But this is just a great place to start. If you enjoyed, please like, share, and subscribe. And with that said, peace out.